Why do I feel like it looks like I haven't seen the sun in like years? Alright, hello. Today I wanted to film the video I promised a long time ago. It is my application process for UWC as well as my tips and tricks. I just want to start by saying that I'm not a UWC representative. I feel like I have to say that every time. Okay, I'm no longer a student. I was a student at the United World College of Costa Rica. So I've just finished my 2 years, and actually yesterday I finished my last IB assignment. So something that most people don't know, and I think is very significant in this video's context, is that I did actually apply to UWC twice. Once when I was 15, so I was quite young, and then once again. And the second time I was admitted. So my perspective is slightly unique because I did go through 2 trials of application and learned from my mistakes. I am Canadian, so I went through the Canadian National Committee, and I know every committee is very different. Some are, I would argue, more challenging than others, also depending on the pool of applicants, but I think that the things I'm gonna bring up are pretty relevant to almost all committees, sort of across the board, are pretty important if you're interested in knowing what I think would advantage you in the UWC application process. And guys, keep on watching. In the bio, I'm gonna have a few little timestamps, so if you want to fast forward to another part of the video, the time will be marked down there. You can just press on that. I do have my list on my phone right here, so if I look down, that's why. I'm gonna keep referring back to the fact that I applied twice, just to kind of compare the 2 times and how I did it differently. Hopefully that will help you understand sort of what I mean. The first thing, it sounds super simple, but establish why you want to attend a UWC. When you apply, actually understand what it is that is appealing to you. What is it about UWC that you actually want? Is it the diverse group of people? Is it the fact that you'll be living abroad? Or is it the academics? Is it a combination of a few things? Dive into what is the root of your desire to attend. And I say this because I've often noticed from applicants who have been rejected, including myself, that it can be specifically one of 2 things that I think will very much deter the admission committee. The first being that UWC is a title that you want to achieve. So it's something that you realize is appealing, in that it's almost like a stamp of approval. It's like validation. If I can achieve UWC, if I can attend, it means that I am worthy or I am more successful. And I genuinely want to tell you right now, that's not true. You can achieve so many great things without going through UWC. Just having that UWC stamp does not guarantee that you'll be successful following UWC. It's about using the UWC resources and all of that. Maybe it's subconscious, but if you feel like you don't actually know why you want to attend, you just kind of want to, question it. Is it a genuine desire for the experience, or is it because you want to be able to say, oh yeah, I got accepted to UWC? Because if that is the case, I can guarantee you that admission directors will see right through you, even if you don't realize that it is. And the second one, which is I think what I fell for, is, are you using UWC as a stepping stone? Of course you might want to attend UWC, but if part of your desire is rooted in the fact that you want to achieve something afterwards, I would avoid mentioning it. I'll kind of bring it back to my 15-year-old self. Looking back, I think one of the biggest mistakes I made was that at the time, of course, I really did want to go to UWC. I have wanted to go to UWC since I was 10. It was something that I dreamed of, but I think in my application I put too much emphasis on the fact that I wanted to live in England really badly and I wanted to attend a good university in the UK. So Oxford, not Cambridge. I wanted to go to Oxford. I wanted to go to University College London. But the thing is that when I was 15, when they said, what do you want to do after high school? I genuinely think my response centered around how UWC was going to help me to obtain the things that I wanted after UWC. And what I highly recommend is that, yeah, it is good to have a plan and to have like future goals after UWC, but do not put emphasis on your futuristic perspective and objectives in your application. Focus on, in the present, what is it about UWC that you actually want? Wow, I rambled for so long about something that is pretty simple. Hopefully that makes sense. The second one, and I think my national committee actually does mention this on their website, do not give a shopping list of your accomplishments. You should not be afraid to be confident and explain what you've accomplished and why you're proud of those things, but do not just list them. If you want a math contest, great, that's awesome. But so what? What is it about that is important? What did you learn? How much time and effort did you put into it? What does that say about you? Think about qualifying and quantifying what you've done rather than just listing off all of your accomplishments. Give reason for them to be important. not only with UWC, but with honestly any college or university or school application. Just listing something off will often not do as much as you think it might. Number 3, and this is also again a super simple one, but I really think it's so important, is be genuine and authentic. It will not work if you try to be who you think your national committee wants you to be. There is no perfect ideal candidate. There's such a variety of people at UWC, like I could not list a characteristic that I feel like every single one of us has. We're not the same people, and it's so important that you be yourself. Something to maybe focus on instead of trying to be who you think they want you to be is look at the characteristics that belong to a lot of UWC students and figure out which ones actually suit you and emphasize those. Those are some of the reasons why you belong there and why you would thrive in that environment and why you would bring something to the table. You want to explain how your addition to the UWC movement is actually beneficial for them as well in a non-narcissistic sort of way. Be authentic. It's so easy to see through people. More specifically for the written part, some tips, and one of those is have an editor. And I don't mean like a professional editor, I mean like have a friend, a family member read over your work and just give you pointers, give comments, say, I don't know, that doesn't really sound like how I think you want it to sound, or maybe reframe this in another way. When I applied to UWC, I had a friend who was also applying and we read each other's applications. We both had different perspectives on what we thought a good candidate would look like, and so by combining those we were able to actually both get in, coincidentally both get into the same UWC. I love you, Kezia. It's so helpful to have an editor, and even if it's someone you don't know super well, I think it's really good to have that fresh perspective. It's really difficult sometimes when we get afraid to share our works with people because we fear that judgment or the criticism, and honestly, just listen. You don't have to necessarily change your application based on it. If you really don't agree with what someone says about it, that's totally fine. Don't change it. You want to keep that authenticity within the written work, but I think it is good to hear it at least and to sort of consider what people have to say and what people think about what you've written. Next is, and I also ran into this problem, which is why I'm mentioning it, try not to mention a specific college that you want to attend unless it is explicitly asked from you. And I say this because it's already hard enough to get into UWC, so don't minimize your chances even more. If you show interest in only 1 or 2 colleges and you explain how you like don't want to go to all these other colleges, it's not going to help your application. It's going to show that you're closed-minded. Save that for the appropriate time in which they actually ask you which colleges you're interested in. In general though, I will say it is more advantageous to not be picky, and I recommend that you not be picky. When I applied the first time, I genuinely in my head, the only college I pictured, and I think it's the one that almost everyone does, is Atlantic College. It's like the first one I found out about. It's the one that looks like Hogwarts, so why would you not want to attend? It was literally the only UWC I wanted to go to for like the longest time. I didn't even consider the other ones. I didn't care. I wanted to go to Atlantic College. So it's so important to realize that the UWC experience is so much more than the one college you want to go to. Regardless of UWC you attend, they're all special in their own way. None of them are perfect. They all have their own problems and their own pros and cons and their own quirks. So whichever UWC that you end up going to, if you go in with the mindset of wanting to enjoy it and making the most of it, it shouldn't matter where you end up. Of course, there are exceptions. Go into UWC with an open mind. Realize that wherever you end up, it will be a wonderful experience as long as you make the most of it, as long as you make the most of the resources available for you. Doesn't matter what country you're in because the community is there. And honestly, one of the best things about UWC is the community. It's the people you meet, it's the friendships and the connections that you make, and they are lifelong. So it does not matter if there's someone in the UWC from, I don't know, Germany. There's so much connection. If I run into UWC or when I'm out, it's just like this instant feeling of closeness. That is something that will be there regardless of the UWC you get into. So try not to be picky. That's my tip. Okay. For the written application as well, do not leave it till the last minute. I am very much a perfectionist the first year, and I put it off for so long because I was so afraid that I wouldn't be able to write a good application. The more you utilize the time that you're given for the application, the better it will be. If you find the application and you have like a week, okay, it's fine, do it, you've got this, as fast as you can. Start right away. When you decide that you want to apply, just start. The way that I did it, my second round applying, and maybe will help some of you. I know that not everyone is the same, but what I did was that I used little post-its, and on the post-its I wrote every question that I had to answer in my written application, and I posted them all around my room. I put one on my bathroom mirror, I put one literally in the shower, I had one in front of my desk, I had one right by the door, and every time I would like go to leave, or every time I would like go to brush my teeth, I could see it, and then I would start thinking about it. And if I was sparked with a great idea, I could then go and get my phone, get a notebook, and write it down. And then I collected all of these little notes, and I would write way more than I actually needed to write for the application just to get my thoughts out, and then I would condense it and really only take out the best part of what I had written. And also finishing before the deadline, leaving it for a little bit, reading it again, seeing if I feel differently about something. So then when I actually did submit it, I felt confident that it was the best I could possibly do, and once I had sent it, that was it. Let it go. You tried your best, you did everything you could. Can't change anything now. Much easier said than done. Important to remember that this is one opportunity. If you don't get it, it's not the end of the world. Looking back, I'm so thankful that I didn't get in my first year, because I had an amazing year back home. So not having gotten in was so beneficial for me and for my growth. I was so much more equipped to attend UWC when I applied that second time, because I had faced that feeling of failure. It's okay. You will be absolutely fine. The next tip is about the interview. It's so much about your attitude. You could have the best application. You could have the best grades in the world. You could have accomplished so much stuff, done all the extracurricular activities, just done everything on paper, the perfect application. But it's so much about your attitude. If you get there and you're obnoxious or you're full of yourself, it's not gonna look good. Just be calm, try and relax, try and just be yourself and be kind. There are UWCers that are shy, there are UWCers that are super extroverted. It will really be beneficial if you go into the day with a good mindset. Don't be hard on yourself. I know a lot of them are selection camps and things like that. Just enjoy yourself, show that you care. So that's all I have in terms of the actual application. There is something I do want to add about contacting UWCers. I think this is really important to mention because I have not heard it said ever in a video. Maybe I'm wrong, but I know that a lot of UWCers get messages from applicants, and I actually want to give a few tips in terms of messaging UWC students. Please be respectful. When you are attending UWC, you are probably pretty busy. You probably have a lot to do. It's extremely difficult to manage and balance all of your responsibilities. It's very time consuming, very academically demanding, and reaching out to a UWC student is great, but be respectful of their time. Be respectful with what you say. Don't expect them to answer right away. If they answer, it is out of their kindness. They don't have any obligation to do that. Be very grateful. Please be specific with the questions that you ask. If you ask someone, how was your experience? Tell me about the lifestyle. If it's a really broad question, you're not as likely to get an answer. It's too vague. If you do have questions, I'm always so happy to receive them and to answer. But again, respectful, grateful, and precise. Alright, I think that's everything I wanted to go over. If there's anything in particular that you want to know about UWC, you can message me, you can comment down below. Also, I have a lot more UWC content. I will be filming a pros and cons, which someone asked for a while ago, and I still haven't done it, so I will be doing that. I post every Wednesday, so if you do want to hear more, if you do have more questions, please subscribe. I hope you have a wonderful week. I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye. I forgot to, I feel like I've done it every time, so like now it's weird if I don't, so like, okay, bye.